These walls can talk. Open your mind and listen.
Trailing down these hollowed halls, can you hear me? Staring down these storied walls, can you see me?
Hello, hello.
Hi there. Oh boy,
I'm gonna.
don't we
What?
both look tired?
Yeah, it's life with a toddler and not a toddler.
Yeah.
I want to try to get our intro video instead of just the song. I want to get it involved in there, so I'm gonna work on that because I think that'll really, really boost the vibe.
Well, you do that. I am technically abbreviated, so
Abbreviate.
I just thought that word sounded that came out of my mouth. Did it?
Super PC of you.
Is it PC?
I don't know.
Really not known as somebody who's very PC. Just to throw a couple wingers in there. First off, I am exhausted. Work has been like to the bone this month. And I have been on lots of podcasts this month as a guest.
Yeah.
Good. Lasha Knows Everything, Last Call with David Cooper, Coffee with Lori, a bunch of them. But trying to mix that in with leaving work in the city at 5 o'clock, getting home at 10 to 7, and then running upstairs, getting changed, and getting on a podcast at 7 o'clock. Oh, it's been quite the last couple of weeks for sure. I would have thought winter was a slower time, but
no,
it's okay. These were good podcasts, and then of course we got our own podcast tonight, which I think is probably going to be abbreviated somewhat. Part of it's kind of a rehash. I like to thank people that we've learned from a lot, right? But anyway, on the ongoings. It looks like, the last one I just did with Lasha, the podcast, has turned into quite an amassment of emails and connections, like through the Chamber of Commerce in Oshawa and all that. I know the Biltmore Theater is talking to us about doing an investigation. Core 21, which back in the 40s was the Zellers. Before that, I'm not sure. I'm trying to dig into that. And then there's going to be other places, right? So it's going to be nice to get some local work. We're headed back to the SJJ in September, so let's get a bunch of local work until then.
I'm excited. I haven't been since the last time I went would have been not the year you guys just did, but the year before.
Right.
Actually, the last time I was at SJJ was a week before I found out I was pregnant, and I actually said. And I was thinking about this not too long ago. I said, because we were talking to the little girl, or no, the mom, the woman that was looking for her child. And I said, I don't know if I'll ever be able to have kids. And then a week later, I found out I was pregnant. So that means technically I was pregnant. The SJJ got me pregnant.
It wasn't Brandon. So one of the things about the SJJ, of course, so you weren't there the last one? Where we did the unscientific investigation?
I was going to go, and I was going to come home at like 2 a.m., drive the 4 hours home to be with my baby, but I was sick. And then I got slightly better, but then Brandon and Grayson were sick. And I was like, I'm not ditching my husband to deal with a crying baby they're both sick. And then I'm also still not feeling well.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm going to get everyone sick.
You could have been with me. I was a crying baby that night too.
So you said, yeah, you weren't feeling too good, were you?
I should have been in the hospital, but and I was in the hospital 2 weeks after that. So It was. I got to go back so that I can redeem myself. I'm afraid I let go of some of my cardinal rules and basically had us with all those fucking little toys that everybody else likes to use, the ding dongs and the boops and the.
I have a request though.
Mm.
When they ask if they want us to turn the pot lights on at 3 a.m., we're going to say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
No lights.
Because those floodlights scared the living shit out of me because we had just talked to the community people at the bar around the corner, and they said, oh yeah, because we walked past a bunch of teenagers or young 20-year-olds or whatever, and when
Right.
the floodlights came on at 3 a.m., we jolted awake after hardly sleeping the entire night, and I was like, oh my god, like they're coming to torment us. And I woke Shannon up, and she was so pissed off. She was like, why are you waking me up? I was like, someone's here. And she's like, no, it's just a floodlight. So we're not doing that again.
Now I must apologize. I was gonna. I know it's noticeable on film. I was gonna wear my new dentures tonight, but I didn't.
I don't
Because
notice it. It's okay.
I think I kind of whistle a bit while I'm talking when I wear them.
Oh, you're a little nerdy, eh?
If I'm at work during the day and I've got them in, and I gotta change my mouth the way I speak. So fuck it. You guys can look at my missing teeth. I don't
Honestly, I don't see them. Your mouth is small enough.
care. Thanks.
I don't know if it's a compliment or just a statement.
Your mouth is big enough for the both of us. You obviously got the big mouth from your mother instead of me. So I'm sure if she watches this one, hi Lori, sorry, sorry, not Lori, sorry, not sorry. So okay, let's get into this thing here. You know, obviously the world is kind of a shit bang right now, everywhere, everything about it. I want, you know, who would have thought that right now, you know, 2024 sucked major ass, and 2025 sucked ass, and then we were like, now I'm like, give me back 2025, right? It's too bad. Give me back 2013.
No.
Or
That was a really bad year for me.
okay, I actually personally enjoyed the 80s a lot more.
I wasn't even thought of at that point.
No, you're right. You know, but like 1988, 89 was awesome, an awesome time to be alive. So we're gonna go back. So
Okay, I guess I'm dead.
I wanted to discuss was I just want to give homage
Homage.
to teams
Homage.
that we've learned something from. Okay, obviously, this is my 32nd year in the realm of paranormal investigation. Chaps, it's our 22nd, right? So great. But you know what? Put the ego aside. It's pretty important to do that. There's people I want to thank. And actually, one of the first ones I want to thank that I've learned some from, Phantoms of Yore, Elliot. I'm going to bastardize his last name. I think it's Lucan Ure. It could be Lucan Jr. It could be something.
Junior.
It's German.
Look at Junior.
He's pronounced it before, but I can't pronounce it. So Lucaner. Anyway, head of the Phantoms of Yore, which like polaristically is kind of a different team than us. Like they're
tourist based.
They're a tour operation team. Maybe what's very different is that like he actually knows how to investigate, and you know like the things that he uses that we cuss out, he uses obviously for the, the betterment of a crowd of people. But I'll tell you what it is, and it's funny because we align incredibly politically different, totally different spectrum. But you know what? I'm going to give Elliot a nice piece of kudo here in the way that there's been many a times where I have been on the brink, right? Like ready to lose my mind, ready to give up on what we're doing, ready just to shut this shit down. And anybody who's, okay, and this is the real truth, anybody who's actually ran a team, like a real research team, will have been in these shoes about 1,000 times. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I can't do this anymore. Elliot's got a great way of kind of reining me back in, calming me back down.
Yeah.
Sort of kind
absolutely.
of like, just this is not really the way people are looking at you. And I give him credit. Like I said, like, they don't want to hear the way I am. And he said, no, it's the way you are is exactly why you have the crowd you do. Just be you. Don't soften the blows. Say as you feel. And I got to thank him because he's kind of kept me grounded. We've investigated with a lot of teams that I won't mention because I don't want to be libelous, but they've also taught me how to look like a fucking idiot. That's really important. And you don't think maybe it's not, but it really is. When you can work with a team, and we've worked with 40 or 50 different teams, stand on the outside and go, oh. And then, have them say things like, and I don't know, you weren't there at that one, where the medium told me that there was a gargoyle following me around. And now I got to be honest with you, if anybody who knows my personality, that's just an open door for me to chirp on you all night. And they won't work with us anymore. Although, look, I can cuss all I want. Right now, they're getting exposure by national network. So obviously you can be a toy company team made up of nothing but psychics and mediums, and now you're going to be on national TV. So kudos to them. But I still think I got to thank them and many other teams like them for helping me take a file to the edges and not be so accepting of some of these goofy, silly, embarrassing, dreadful shames of methods of investigation.
I mean, honestly, I don't really watch a lot of paranormal videos online or paranormal TV shows because I don't want to watch silly investigation methods. I mean, honestly, I don't even watch our own videos most of the time. And not because...
that's good to know.
And it's not because, I'm ashamed, obviously. It's just I don't like listening to myself talk, which sounds hilarious, but I don't want to listen to myself ask questions and regret later, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I don't watch a lot of paranormal stuff because I don't want to be like, ooh, like anytime I see it on TikTok, and I've argued with people on TikTok before, I'm like, that orb is not anything significant that we need to be paying attention to. And they're like, actually, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're not worth arguing with. So,
right. Look, it is what it is. I don't watch a lot of paranormal TV either because I end up yelling at the TV. Yeah. So, it comes to a point where I'm really only focused on what I'm investigating and what I'm researching. Maybe if, one of our friends, see, the problem is a lot of our friends that are in this don't actually put out videos. Like, CPRI and those kind of lot, they put out educational videos, but they don't put out like investigation videos. And they go do places hundreds of times. So, like,
and that's it, right?
If they put out a video 100 times, it would be a lame biscuit, right? So,
and our videos are usually a very small snippet of the whole night. So, because I've gone to most of our investigations in the last 5 years, I don't sit there watching them because I already know what happened, and I've already listened to the audio clips that Sandy has put out. So I'm like, all right, I already know what we're looking for and what we're visually trying to back. So I'm like, I don't want to rewatch the whole night that I was already in.
the last one, which for me, I'll admit, like every team is susceptible to this, was a complete shit show of an investigation. Shit show. Like not just because we had all the toys and the Ouija boards and the things that go bing. We didn't this places we could have investigated at the SJJ. We literally investigated one fucking room, and that was it because there was no direction that night. So anyway, Sandy scaled that video down, so it was like 10 minutes long, and then we got lots of people messaging us going, "Oh, you should have left more room for people to answer." Well,
yeah, I saw
can you
that.
imagine if we released a video of a full investigation with given time? Like, it would be 5.5 hours long. What a boring shit show that would be, right? So I even put on the description of the video, this is heavily condensed for time.
Yeah.
Well, you need to give more time for an answer. Well, people are like, you guys are talking too much. All you did was talk. because that's all we could edit in. It was a 10-minute video. People like don't understand that. We're not. So I guess we're gonna have to find that happy medium. But anyway, that was such a bad investigation. And you know what, Frizz? I never use the term professional investigator because we're not experienced. For experienced investigators that we are, we dropped the ball that night. All of us did. Every one of us dropped the ball that night. So it happens. Going back to the people that we learned from. Geez, I mean, the whole Chaps family, I've had a chance to work with tons of them. And with Jason Hawes especially has taught me to be proud of what we do and to not give up on our integrity. Yes. Well, sometimes we capture things, sometimes you don't. We're going to talk about that tonight specifically, actually. Not residences, though. We're not mentioning residences tonight because can't really talk about residences. So, Jason Hawes allowed me to feel proud of what we do. Like, what we do for people is a service. And despite the people that want to harness off on, you're not doing this right, you're not doing this right, whatever, we're going out with the volition to assist people. Mm-hmm. And we don't charge them for it. Right? So, and we don't lie to them. It's like, this is our opinion. And unfortunately, some people aren't happy with that, but it's okay, to have that integrity about what we do and keep firm about it, right? I've had a lot of discussions with Jay about that stuff. And, and just the Chaps family in general is so nice to see, how important this is to them. And when we see us working together in the Chaps family group, how
I like how supportive they are. I really do. You can post a video that hasn't because I know you can privatize things on YouTube and stuff, but you post it and you actually get their feedback. Everyone's actually a really good
and bad.
Chaps family.
Yeah, good and bad. You know? So going to a bit of a stretch beyond the Chaps family from specific teams that we've worked with, out of Wichita, WPRS, and RVPRI, Adrian and Tina. What I've learned? I haven't learned technique from them because our investigation style is really quite similar. You know what I mean? When we investigate with them, there's no bullshit back and forth. I don't want to use that. You can't use this. We kind of understand separation so we don't, contaminate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But just they kind of allowed me to have fun at this again. Because for a long time, I got I had fun, and then I got really serious. And it was I am an experienced investigator. I have to be the blah, blah, blah. But they had fun. And the last investigation that we did at the Randolph, and you haven't met Adrian and Tina, have you? Jeez, no, I'm so sorry.
I would have met them at the Chaps reunion, but Jason was still too little.
Well, yeah. Honestly, they're a bag of hammers as far as fun goes. You know what I mean? And they sound funny. From Arkansas, and everything they say sounds so serious. And you can't. It's like arguing with a Scottish person, right? I don't give a shit even what you're saying, but your accent makes you sound funny. And not funny and I think you're right? But wow, I'm really more captivated by how you sound than what's coming out of your mouth. So that makes it fun. And actually they're a riot. And when we were at WPRS, what's the word here? Not the gratitude. The gratitude is a stupid word. I'm a dumb man. But the welcoming us into their homes and the barbecues and take us here and take us here and take us here and take us here. We drove through 3 states with these people, and then we stayed at their house. And then, and Adrian, found out that, I sleep with a fan on every night. So do you. So does every one of my kids. I gave them the disease. And he made sure that there was a fan in my room. You know what I mean? The whole 9 yards. So, they kind of brought that whole joy back into investigating, a little bit of humor. And Adrian and Tina kind of got on me. We were at Shawshank Prison, and I was investigating, and like Adrian was literally saying, "Hey, how you doing, Philip? We see you everywhere, Philip. Don't worry." Well, he's a great follower of ours. He comments on everything. I love it.
Oh, I know. He was at my wedding.
This is also a good point. It seems to be everywhere. Maybe has he been at my work too? If I sold him something, it just seems wherever things are going on with us.
That's Phil Booker's brother-in-law.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm
Okay. I just wanted to.
finding it kind of different. He seems to be everywhere.
Because he's
So-
a supporter.
Going back to Adrian and Tina, I'm not sure if Tina bitched at me about something. I was talking too much. That was it. So this is not unfigured with
I'm
me.
glad she spoke up.
She did. She's like, don't you ever give a chance for spirit to hear a goddamn thing? Listen to you. And I'm like, sorry. And Adrian is kind of like, you're really tense. You seem very rigid. You know, I can't do his accent right now. But like, you know, and I'm like, you're right. Yeah, well, hiring, not at work. Here, yes, but it's no pay.
Free.
So anyway, but I had to give it out to those two guys, those two teams, because we've worked together a bunch of times, and I'm just so happy to be there. You know what? The last investigation at the Randolph, we were standing outside, as Adrian called it. You guys are staying at the murder hotel, because I get cheap hotels, and it was all like cinder block walls, just perfect for me. And that's where we chose to drink when we were at the Randolph. And I'll talk about that place in a minute. We were in a place in Indiana, not the most exciting place, but you know, we had gotten into a couple too many wobbly pops that night. And all right, we'll chat. We will.
Wobbly pops.
Wobbly pop. What? Can you tell me what's inappropriate? Is it like putting a period at the end of a sentence? It's not appropriate to say now.
No, I'm laughing. It's a fun way to talk about alcohol. Wobbly pop.
Polite about things.
I'm gonna start calling them wobbly pops now.
We had a riot. I mean, an absolute, like, I don't normally stay up late anymore because I'm getting old, but oh man, we could have stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, Darren's sitting on the back of his truck and Abby's in the whole, like, it was just too much fun. So they brought the fun back to investigation for me. Hold on, by the way, as tradition, here are my notes.
How
Yes.
do you read that?
I know I wrote them about 10 minutes before the show. I like to keep things like on the cuff, going into like deeper meanings of people. Cops, correctional officers, correctional officers, paranormal
Hi,
society.
Claire.
Hello. So, going back 10 or 15 years, 10 years, I don't know. They contacted me about training. They had just formed a team. Right? So, you know, they followed us on a couple of investigations. And then, what? Did your dog fart or something? What are you spelling?
He's licking.
I heard that.
Yeah. That was him coughing up whatever he just licked.
Well, I thought that was a lick.
No.
In which case, doggy, you're doing it too hard. So, one of the things about cops was that you kind of like get that fresh perspective, right? And they started, you know, the whole thing with the parabolic microphone with audio, wearing headphones with audio. We never did it. I always used to like hold it or set it up and just walk around. And then we did it that way. I was like, let me give this a try. And I was like, whoa, that totally opened up a whole new, fresh way of doing things. And I think also because they were just so tight and they really only did it with the four of them. And there were always the four of them. And I was always the team that had like 25 investigators, right? So, but they just did it with the four of them, right? Ironically, I guess towards the end of it, I know that there was a bit of a move apart when White Crow got formed, but when Darren passed away, too young, obviously, and going to his funeral, and still seeing how tight everybody was, though they didn't have as much to do with each other over years. And then we did the memorial investigation for Darren, where we all met up with other teams at Picton, and I was glad to be a part of that. It was probably one of the first times to a lot of teams, for me, where I felt morally obliged and had a kinship with another team. I still talk to Wes to this day. Wes is mostly on his own investigating now, all over the goddamn world. He's everywhere, which is really fantastic. I'm envious. I really am, truly. And then CPRI out of Virginia, where
Virginia.
Damn, Robert Bradley, whatever the F he calls himself at a given day. A lot of fun in a really serious way, right? Like they everything is scientific. Data recorders.
I'll talk to you.
We'll talk about it. They're very serious about doing this, and they have lots of discussions in scientific forums, and they're actually scientists.
It really is like a different way of investigating. I've seen lots of stuff along social media and along YouTube and just everywhere. And the way CPRI does it is a complete different ballgame. And I kind of respect it. Like they kind of have their own investigatory method, if you will.
So I'm happy to have investigated with them a couple times. And it blows them away. Like when we go in to do EVP sessions. Because they're like, what are you doing? Because they don't.
You sound a bit selfish.
35 cameras set up all over the house and 100 data recorders and this and that. And they follow, measurable data.
They use the scientific method.
Right. We don't. We're pragmatic. So but I think that they respect us because we kind of respond to why we do what we do. We're not like touring a show together. We just do it differently. And what I know, even when I was sick, like in those couple of years, Rob would call me, make sure to call me like every other month. And this, Ouija boards are a board game. How do you close it? I don't even know how you open it. Okay. Bonnie, I got to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this to the world, Ouija boards are bullshit. I've had many. We brought one to this last investigation, handmade. It was even a handmade Ouija board. And look, it's a Parker Brothers dream, unfortunately. I'm not the guy to ask about that. I'm really not, because I'm not going to have probably the answer you're wanting to hear. And that's just my integrity speaking. CPRI, like I remember, one of the great things is that a lot of people don't want to stop somebody and go, why is it you're doing this? Mm-hmm. And Bob Bradley, he's like, Dave, why is it exactly your plan is what it is without having a formula for what you're doing? What is your formula? And I'm like, I don't have an answer for you. And then it really made me think. And that's what I meant, that we learned so much from them, because he stopped and really made me look at the idea of trends, right? And like I've researched and, we went over things the right way. But like the whole thing of, okay, now like what does all that prove? And when we have an investigation, are we taking the claims into consideration when we're making our tests and what we're looking for, or are we just going in there with the same SOP, standard operating procedure? I know you know that. I'm just doing it for people who don't. I'm just doing the same rinse, repeat on every single investigation. And now I look at it differently on each investigation. This is also why when somebody says, okay, so you'll be in and out 3 hours or whatever, we could be in and out in an hour, we could be in and out in 8 hours. It all depends, right? So, see, and one of the things I really got from them really is like their undying loyalty, and my undying respect for what they do. They're just a fantastic team, and they all talk really funny. Like the people from Arkansas and Kansas, and people from
Arkansas.
Arkansas, they love it when you say that. Talk funny, and it's okay. We talk like the way we talk is the way you're supposed to talk, right? We're very clear. Our words enunciate properly. They just have really good food down there. So those are really the teams I kind of want to give my thank you to. Because I don't think Chaps would be the team we are now if it wasn't for teams like them. 100%, even the ones that I don't align with.
But that's how you learn. You learn from good and bad in all forms, like in all practices in life, not even just, investigating the paranormal. You have to learn when you make mistakes, and you learn when you do great, and you learn to keep doing things. Putting my kid to bed the past 13 months, there are things that worked really well that we just keep doing, and then there were things that did not help at all and stop doing.
Well, I mean, and I'm just going back to when you were a baby. You were an asshole to put to sleep. I can remember, I don't know, we were traveling the next day. Oh, damn. I mean, every single time I traveled with you was a pain. Don't you remember you waking? I remember we're going to Disney with you, and you kept all of us up all night long. And then when we got to Disney, you went to sleep. Right. I remember another when your mother and I had to travel, and you wouldn't sleep, and I put you in the car, and I drove you around for like an hour and a half. You slept in the car, and then as soon as I got you back in the house, you started screaming. And what I wanted to do, man, like I think Helen she actually had a large freezer, and I thought maybe if I put you in there and chilled you down, it would naturally put you, because if you're freezing in cold, your body naturally wants to go to sleep.
Just lower my blood pressure so much that I just pass out.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
Okay.
You were a terrible child. Oh, God, you're a bad child. So we're going to go into the next thing here. We're going to talk about. Look, I'm not saying these places were shit. I'm just saying we didn't get any evidence. We have a pretty high benchmark for evidence, as a rule. At least now we do.
I've only been to 2 of these places, so I can't communicate much.
Just going to talk about them. That's it. I'm just going to talk about them. So you're going to give me my cues.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, geez. We just talked about this, and this picture just came up. This is the Randolph. The Randolph is in Winchester, Indiana. Sleepy little town of like 3. You know what? We went there with RVPRI, which, by the way, for years and years and years and years, I was calling them RVPI. I forgot the R for like 10 years. And then they corrected me. So, look, I make mistakes. This is like, I think they said this used to be like it was a poor farm. And then it eventually became like an old folks' home. And it's a really cool place. It's huge. It's a massive place. Watch our video on it. It just goes for days. Unfortunately, it does have the same kind of claims that every single institution building has. You know what I mean? Like, this is the morgue room. This is where they did the autopsies. It was a county building. They didn't do autopsies there. They might have kept the bodies there and then they got picked up by whatever the coroner is. This is where the girl that lived there, who was a cook, and she's in this room. Unfortunately, this is where so and so killed themselves, fell out a window. It really bears a lot of resemblance to a lot of places. That night, I can remember there was like a tornado coming in, and there was a lot of the steel roofing was pulling away. There was no contamination issues. I know that we were all really tired. The person that did the tour guide, told a lot of stories. And like you, looks like he was falling asleep. But he was putting, if you watch the video, if you watch our gag reel, you'll see Darren Wanamaker falling asleep in the video. We're all in this living room talking, watching this guy talk. And Darren's just, and then you look over, and then there's two other people falling asleep too. It was so I think maybe there's a possibility we were very drained. We didn't really get anything that night. I know we were up in the attic, and the attic is a monster. It's like a hall they use for weddings now. And
People get married there?
Yep. So you know the whirly birds in the ceiling in the attic, the things that spin around, the ventilation things.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a tornado coming in, and there were birds that had flown into these whirly birds and got stuck. So they were like cheep, 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 and rattling around because they were dying. Right? They were stuck. So Darren says, okay, give us a sign that you're here. We're in a big huge, and a bird whips down and crashes into the floor and then whips into the wall and starts dying in the corner. So that was our sign. But we did like a number of hours. Nothing. Would go back in a heartbeat. It was actually a really cool place.
So, Phil,
Super height. 8 or 9 times.
yeah, that's Picton Heights, yes? Yeah, that's Picton Heights. Yeah.
That's all gone now. It's gone.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it got
knocked
tore
down for
down
housing.
last year. Yeah.
Year before it was knocked down for housing.
Yeah.
We did the last investigation that was done there. But we honestly, when we started working with cops, that was kind of like their spot because Darren's brother-in-law owned the paintball place. So we were able to get in there free of charge. So the first time we went there, it was kind of cool. Me and Phil were up there, and so they have in the military barracks rooms or whatever they call them. I'm not military. They have the hanging steel lights, and they're made of steel. It's like a frying pan upside down. We were asking for something to happen, and it was like a rock hit one of them. The gong, and we went down, and the light was swinging, and there was a rock on the floor. So that was our biggest thing there, besides the bats. Phil had been there a number of times with us. Next picture. Sorry,
So this is it's okay. This is our own photo.
the battleships. So that's only one of them. In Buffalo Harbor, we did this we did it, and then we did it again for our 10th anniversary when we had like cops was there. And, there was like 25 of us on these ships. There's 3 of them. There's a submarine. There's like a little, I don't know. I'm not a military guy. There's a very large ship. I've never investigated that. There is a large ship, a smaller ship, and a submarine.
I don't know what happened there.
One of them, it escapes my mind right now. I feel absolutely terrible. The Arkansas is the big ship.
Arkansas?
The Arkansas. and then I've just forgotten what the other 2 are. Anyway, we did have kind of like what we think were voices. They weren't. It was just the sound of the water outside. We did find some really cool rooms that weren't open before. That were kind of like in the void spaces. Like, I forget who it was. It was me and Chris Goring. Climbed up through a void space and ended up in this map room that was in between floors. That was kind of neat. So we had great experiences. I will tell you that walking on steel stairs all day and night, not good for the back, not good for the feet, not good for the knees. Both times I was there, we were going to stay there overnight. We did have parts of the team that did Little Rock. Thank you, Sandy. It wasn't the Arkansas, it was the Little Rock. All right, so give it to my wife to make me look like a moron. And did I ever piss Sandy off that night, by the way? Because Sandy can sleep, right? I can't. I've got insomnia. I've been taking medication for insomnia for like 7 years. So they had hammocks. Well, with the hammock, I don't have a fan.
You had to
And
sleep
then-
in hammocks?
Yeah. And then Dan was there, and Dan snores like a fucking freight train. So I am losing my mind. Of course, there's always that like weird amber light, and it's got to be
Mhm.
dark for me. It's got to be cool and all that shit. So anyway, I drove home from Buffalo at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
And left everyone there?
Yeah. Well, I took me and who came down there with me. The rest of
Oh, okay. I thought you just.
I'm not an asshole. We did actually watch the Jason Aldean concert that was downtown Buffalo from the deck of the Little Rock. I didn't really listen to Jason Aldean, but Sandy knew about it. But we had a great time. Nothing. Zero. Although I highly, highly suggest anybody do it. Just because it's just cool. It's like
Well, we can
Urbex
do
on
it.
steroids.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Roker was the sub and the Sullivans was the other.
Yeah. Sullivan's actually was kind of my favorite of the three.
We could do it again. I'm cool.
Well, got to cross the border, and well, we're kind of like pausing that for this calendar year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm worried we're going to Europe.
All right. Next one.
Waverly Hills. What can I say about Waverly Hills?
The gargoyle. That's the gargoyle that was following you.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It followed me home. I think I'm going to get a lot of people angry with this one, especially in the Chaps family. A lot of them like it. Jason's a big fan of this place. Jason and I had a good disagreement in regards to what I liked and what he's liked. He wasn't as big a fan of West Virginia Penitentiary, but he was of Waverly Hills. I think Waverly Hills was the most overhyped place. We did catch, like we of course had the tour guide, made you think you were going to have a fight with these ghosts. I remember the guy watching our DVR fell asleep during it. The lady that did the tour guide, we were saying, like, is it possible that animals are causing some of the services? There are no animals here. But we actually caught a raccoon walking into the room where our DVR monitor was. Really overhyped. I can't even really say anything about it. It was a cool place. It was neat. A little too sanitized though. Like it's very clean. And remembering that lots of people did die there, but it wasn't necessarily a negative place for what it was. It was a tuberculosis hospital, but they made it seem like everybody was like gored to pieces being there. But they were at that point in time doing the most up-to-date medicine possible. And they, built the place so that they could expose people to sunshine and fresh air and, kept them with their kids. There was a playground for kids and all kinds of stuff. Like, all the best laid intentions were there. I think it's an overhype. But I would go back to see if I get proven wrong. Sandy spent half the night lying in a morgue tray. She took the video camera, went off by herself, and I pulled her in the drawer, the drawer where they pull the bodies out. She was down there talking to herself. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't all that scary.
All right. Lorik now.
Now, I'll let you talk about Lord now.
I find Lorik now feels very heavy when you think of the context of the. I mean, honestly, most of the prisoners at Lorik now were vagrants and minor crimes. They weren't. There's a very small portion that did commit heinous crimes, but then the rest of them were vagrants and stole something. Like they weren't. The jail wasn't filled with violent offenders.
No.
But I will say the way the prison and the jail is laid out, because it's so old, it gives off very scary vibes. The cells and when you're out in the back with the hanging, and so it does, and the nurse's office. Like there are very creepy vibes that come off, and I mean. We sat in oh my God, what are the isolated rooms called? drawing a blank on what they're called, but when you are shut into your own
Yeah.
little whatever. So yeah, and we had some pretty freaky moments. Like I remember we were
Segregation.
uh, segregated. Yeah, no, I'm talking about when it's just they're alone.
Isolation,
Anyway,
segregation.
sure, or whatever. Anyway,
Anyway.
we had some pretty good moments where we were role playing like a father daughter, yelling at
Oh
each
yeah.
other. So
Good, great
really,
opportunity for that.
yeah,
And
really
when
cool
me
moments.
and Wes were like cussing each other out from other sides of the prison.
Yeah.
We
So, and
woke up in the neighborhood.
that really felt spooky. I mean, and then the one time Wes left me locked in a cell and you guys just ditched me, like that
Yeah,
felt
yeah, that's hard
creepy.
for a cigarette. Yeah.
And then when we were upstairs and the barracks were like the actual, scary, prisoners were, yeah, that did give off scary vibes. But honestly, the only result we really got were the bats flying around. We never actually got anything as much as we wanted to, and we went there twice.
If Elliot says,
Yes,
"Hey, you guys wanna go
solitary. Thank you. That
we
was
do
the word I was thinking.
or like
Brain
either one of us have been
malfunctioning.
invited. Honestly, Fiona and I have been very devoted church-going people
Yes,
forever, and we would never do anything in order to get into trouble. I never did either.
never.
I saved my allowance and cut lawns and shoveled driveways, and I was such a good kid.
But anyway, I really liked the rig now. It just nothing came out of it.
That's the way it goes. Next,
Yeah. All right.
we got 15 minutes. Okay, Picton. So PRZ, Picton, Prince Edward Heights, whatever, CFB Picton. Many names that would have gone through. Again, another place where a lot of the claims were very identical to what a medical facility would have. Nurse got raped, doctor got her pregnant, doctor killed himself, yada, 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 yada. I don't go by claims a lot. Great thermal imagery of me having a whiz outside the building. It was a cool spot, and I mean that in the most literal of sense. We literally investigated that place either when the humidex was 190 or it was minus 30.
Freezing the last time we went. We went in November. We went on Remembrance Day, and it was fucking cold. Like there was you couldn't sit there asking questions. Yeah, there's no windows. You're freezing. You can't ask questions for longer than like 2 minutes per room because you're literally freezing your ass off.
Yeah. And you end up taking breaks in the car, and it was tough.
I do wish though that Picton came up with something, because not only was Picton Heights a military hospital, it was also a developmentally disabled hospital before or after, plus the air base. So like it's had a various amount of should have been deaths in there, considering that when Prince Edward Heights was built and was functioning as a developmentally disabled hospital, so was Huronia and Aurelia, and so was Darcy Place in Coburg. So like these were some very like quite violent homes for disabled individuals that weren't too great. So you would think we would have had more,
Look, I looked at Picton a lot like Gettysburg, where not a lot of proof, but like we did have lots of what the hell was that moments.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, where we were like, what the hell came over there? But the problem is because there's no windows or doors, there's a lot of wildlife too coming in and out. So that's also
a lot of contamination.
Yeah.
Next. Only got 10 minutes.
Castle.
Bacon's Castle. So this is the CPRI's place in Virginia. I'm going to say the hottest I've ever been on an investigation in my entire life.
Like attractiveness or sweaty?
Like sweaty.
Yeah.
Like clammy sweat everywhere, right? Like I probably should have put on a Kleenex diaper. Yeah, you take that for what you want. So we did an investigation down there with CPRI. This is where Rob Bradley was like, why are you doing this? Great place. Looks awesome. Like oldest building in the United States, right? Like it's fucking old. It's like 1700s. But other than the fact that it was plus 43 or something when we were there, not a cloud in the sky, super humid, which I guess was kind of distracting. I got to be honest with you. Like, we come from an environment like we do here to that, you're going to be distracted. But it wasn't the most active place. Now, look, over the years, they have gotten trends. But I think, of course, also what they research a lot of stuff that's a lot more subtle than what we get.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with the trends. Like, Rob will say, like, we got like an EMF spike over a period of 11 months at these particular parts of time, and there was like a 0.4 over this, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. So that's why I don't keep those kind of records, right? It's not because he's wrong. It's because I don't have like that kind of.
I don't have the patience
Look,
for that.
I'm not an electrician. I don't fix, your panel box. Why?
Yeah.
Because I die, and your house would burn, right? I'm not an electrician. So, those are just things that I don't know. There was nothing that came out of that for us. Just a great time. St. Albans, which is another one, a sanatorium down there in Virginia. Different story. We had a great time at St. Albans. Bacon's Castle, I'll go back to. Anytime they really want us to go down there, we'll go see CPRI. Next.
All right, last one.
Rolling Hills.
You sounded really excited to say that.
I've gone to Rolling Hills. I've gone to Rolling Hills a couple times. Look, we did it once as I think both times we did Rolling Hills. It was a public investigation. It's a huge place. It's huge.
Yeah,
So
you've mentioned that. Yeah.
You could have 5 teams there and never bump into each other. All right. Lady that was doing the tour of the place was thanking Spirit for being there while she's talking into a microphone. Her speaker was on her belt. And as she was transmitting, her K2 was going off, and she was thanking Spirit for being there. Right. So that was enough for me. And the twice I had been
I would
there,
have walked out.
the themes of the rooms changed. This room was, I don't know, Benji's room. And then the next time we went, it was Albert's room. And I'm like, okay. And unfortunately, every single claim was identical to every single place. Look, we've done retirement homes, probably 4 or 5 of them, poor farms, 4 or 5 of them, theaters, 10 or 12 of them, prisons, same thing, right? They all have the same claim. Grumpy guy in the boiler room, tall, thin guy with the hat, nurse that gets raped, doctor got her pregnant, kills himself. They literally, there's, I don't know, Norma or Thermal or Dusty or whatever her name is that only stayed in this room, and she loves dolls. And if you bring a doll in there for her, maybe she'll talk to it, right? So, unfortunately, I don't do claims. This is one of the places, the reason why I don't do claims. We didn't get anything there, but gotta be honest with you, I would never do it. This is where I learned. I'll never do a public investigation ever again for 2 reasons. 1, contamination, obvious, right? 2, big dick syndrome. So we show up to this place. We have a camera bag of equipment. Camera bag. Video camera, audio. I think we had something else. And a camera. There were guys there with like fishing jackets with fucking antennas hanging out of it. And, everybody's walking around sizing each other up. Look, the only ego part of the night that I got, which was silly, was that one of them realized that we were a Chaps team. And then all of a sudden they wanted to work with us all night long, right? And they'd also seen our videos and, knew that we were from Canada, we were this and that. And then all of a sudden it was serious. But before that, it was like, just a bunch of guys staring at each other. And I'm thinking, like, as paranormal investigators, like, we have different viewpoints on things, right? But like, Savvy, let's get together and talk about it, And this was just a place that taught me not to do public investigations ever again, or take them seriously. Have you been to Depot Harbor near Perry Sound? Philip, you spelled Perry Sound wrong, and you're from Canada. It's an A. Now put that back up. I want to read the rest of it. I was busy correcting
Sorry.
Phil. And if Phil comes with the team, you know he's going to get corrected. It's the kind of place I'd like to walk alone some night. I'm all about it. He did spell harbor correctly. The Americans.
Are you done reading?
The Americans would disagree because they don't have any U in their life. So here we go.
Any you in your life.
A 4-minute finish. We've gotten some love from Philip tonight and Claire, and we will certainly have conversations on the other side in regards to. There's going to be opportunities coming up in the near future. Again, the Biltmore Theater. We're going to need more bodies than what we have.
We're prepping a public. Slowly.
Yeah, we're going to have a public 101. That's an education session in September. We're going back to the SJJ in September. I'm also going to approach Lasha and see if she might be interested. I think Lasha would be a complete riot on those investments.
I think she'll be fun. That podcast I really, really like.
Yeah, me too.
I like the one with the other guy. I can't think of his name.
David Cooper.
Yeah,
he's
his
a
is
radio.
good, but you only did 10 minutes on his show, so like it was short. But Lasha, that was a hoot listening to that because I just threw on my AirPods, and walked around the house and listened to you guys chit chat. It was great. Yeah, I really liked it. And I actually see her because I'm in the Oshawa subreddit on Reddit, and she's on there. And someone had posted about a haunted location on Bloor Street, and it actually wasn't even their house. They said, yeah. I know your house is haunted because every time I walk by, I see XYZ happening. And Lasha just plopped this big, thing about how we're a team and the contact. So it was awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I mean, Philip, we should really honestly give the opportunity because not only is he like a kinship with, but he's been like championing the team for
he's always
the entire 22 years of its existence.
I don't drink coffee, so now I don't drink coffee.
He does the newbie shit. Remember when we used to have newbies and they had to bring coffee?
Yes, I had to bring coffee.
You had to bring coffee. And then all of a sudden we had a league of people that came along that like, no, I'm just going to come to one investigation and never come back and never do anything. Mm-hmm. So you'll find, Philip, I will be kind of, what's the word I want to use?
In touch.
I could probably, I definitely could, I think Phil would be fine. He has to make up for the other Phil who hasn't been around in a couple of years. So, all right, I'm done. I'm done talking. I'm finished talking.
Thank God.
Thank God. Time for me to go have a smoke and wind down because I got to work early. It's bonus payment day tomorrow. So yay. Benji.
I have headphones in. He can't hear you. You can't ruin his slumber.
I'll yell louder. I'm gonna. In your earphones?
That's okay. I have hearing damage anyway.
Canceling earphones?
A chi? What's a chi?
A chai, stupid. It's not spelled right. So we know now that Phil can't spell worth a shit. How's that?
Stop, you're so mean.
Look, I'm a Gen X. I'm mean to everybody. I chirp. This is what I do. You correct people. I chirp.
I'm a Gen X.
Bye.
Your only personality trait is being a Gen X.
All right. See you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.